Good morning, everybody. This is Mike Moody with Moody's Way. I'm on the way to the Polk County landfill over here off of Toll Road 540. And a lot of people ask, you know, why I charge what I charge for dumpster rental. And I'm going to give you all a little sneak peek as to part of the reason why. A lot of people don't own a trailer or don't own a truck, and I get that. And we provide services for those people. And whenever those people ask me, well, yeah, it's, you know, $40, $50 a ton to dump regular trash, like household trash. You know, I get it, but I'm going to show you today what I have to go through in order to dump your trash. Good morning.
Cash or card?
Cash?
Trash? Got trash?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, right place.
And this is the hill that we're going to wind up going up on, way up top there where them machines are. Now, every landfill is a little different. This one in particular is really just nasty. It's nasty all the time. Like, I mean, I'm in a lifted Chevy with, you know, 35-inch tall tires on it, pulling a loaded dump trailer, and if you don't have four-wheel drive, you're not going to dump here. Like, if you have a dump trailer, you're not dumping here unless you have four-wheel drive most of the year. I mean, it's just the most inexpensive place near me that I know of. And I've done quite a bit of research trying to find different places or more places to dump. Just because, like, every time I come here, I'm getting a nail in a tire, and that costs money. Not to mention from where we're based out of, is just another reason why I started this business. Where we're based out of is a good hour drive away from the nearest dump. So that's kind of why I have to charge what I have to charge. I got you know, an hour sometimes dropping a trailer off to you, and then I got an hour to take it to the dump. And then I got to be able to afford the tires and whatever else four-wheel drive stuff that I end up breaking coming here. So it looks like they actually graded this road a little bit, so I'm gonna turn this thing around, let y'all take a peek at it, but it actually looks a little bit better than normal. Hopefully it is. So y'all hang out with me. Digging in now. You gotta keep rolling, or you gotta stop and put it in 4 low, one of the two. But normally there's 10, 12-inch deep ruts in here from these bigger trucks, and it doesn't normally work out in my favor that way, but looks like today would just be a 2-wheel drive day, thankfully. But I'll turn this thing back on when we get backed up and start dumping. Alright guys, so the trailer's all ready now. All we gotta do is pull up and hit a button. Hopefully, open the doors and hit a button. Alright guys, while we're waiting here for them guys to back us up and let us dump, why don't you take a minute and like and subscribe to the channel, man. A lot more content to come. Thank you. Alright, so this is the stuff you'll see. And this is the stuff we haul. Bunch of trash every damn where. All right, see how much we can get on the first tip. Tipped all the way up, get back in, pull forward, and we're spinning. Lock it in forward. We're going to do the nice thing, and we're going to pull all the way up and out of the way before we let the boat go. Yeah, buddy, the line's filling up now. This place is filling up. See, they got us up here with all the big boys. That's okay, though. We'll make it happen. So I got these little clips that hold the wheel chocks out of the way. It helps quite a bit. And we've got an empty trailer now. Make sure unlatch the doors. Clean off any debris. Now we get to see how many tire punctures we got this time. There's another local company. Some guys like them roll-off units. I I've had quite a bunch of people ask me why we didn't opt for the roll-off trailers, the roll-off dumpster trailers. I personally just don't care for them. You drop them in nice driveways or paver driveways, and then you got to buy plywood, which is $100 a sheet right now to put down, so you don't. Yeah, I didn't feel it necessary. That and most of the other jobs that I take on, I could use dump trailers. So they're multi-use for me, really. I don't have to rent them out and all that stuff, but you know, while they're sitting there not being used, why not rent them out and make some money off of them? Well, what I like to do, I want to get this window up. What I like to do is get back to this paved section of road down here once you get off this hill, and then I'll stop and get out and check all the tires, and then I reweigh. Now that I'm empty, I'll reweigh, pay the bill, and then I normally stop and check again, check the tires again, because like I said, it's 45 minutes to an hour back to either my yard to drop the trailer, or depending on where the next customer, the dumpster's getting delivered to the next customer. So I like to make sure, I don't like surprises, so I like to make sure I know everything I should know about this trailer before I get it back on the road. So that, and it's aggravating as hell to go pick up a trailer from a customer's house and have a flat tire when you go to pick it up. That front one feels a little low. Well, so far so good. Let's do it once over on the truck. Look at everything. See how many nails we picked up. There ain't no telling. Well, so far so good. I'm gonna go reweigh and then we'll double check again. This is the first video I've done of any of the dumpster rental stuff, and I know there's quite a bit of other people out there doing it. Shout out to Hustle Nation. Them boys are pretty cool on YouTube. I've been watching a lot of their stuff, and I didn't even think about recording this dumpster rental stuff until I started seeing some of them guys in their videos. And obviously any kind of information that you can give to someone else who's interested in knowing is always a good thing. So I just figured I'd show y'all what I have to deal with on a weekly basis at least. Yeah, this is our dump. This is our landfill out here in Polk County. It's right off of the toll road, Polk Parkway toll road. And it's basically the only dump in our area. There's another one called Cedar Trail Landfill. They're pretty expensive to dump there, and they're farther out of the way for me, so naturally I'm going to the closest one, closer and cheaper. But I hope y'all are enjoying this kind of content. It's hard to hold a camera and work at the same time, so there's not a lot of working type videos from me out there, unless I can mount the camera to something stationary. But now we're waiting in this line. Got to get all the way back up there to the scale to reweigh, then we'll pull over and check tires again. All right, guys, so what we ended up having was 2,780 pounds for the amount of, okay, so there's the rate per ton. It's $36.50. That's what we ended up paying. It's $50.74. It's just under 2 tons, or just over 1 ton, I should say. But the way I charge for dumpster rentals is it includes 2 tons in the price. So as long as you're under 2 tons, you ain't gonna hear back from me. And so far the tires look acceptable. So this particular dumpster rental that I have is not only a trash load, but a buddy of mine referred this guy to me. So he's in the group of friends, is what I like to say. But he's cleaning out his in-laws' house, I guess, and he had a bunch of scrap metal and stuff too. So I told him, said, don't worry about the scrap metal. Don't put it in the trailer for the dump load. You know, scrap prices are up right now. And I got a big old pile at the house anyway. So I basically told him to put the scrap off to the side, and on the way back to the yard, I'll swing back through and load up all the scrap separately. Just trying to capitalize on everything that I know how to. So scrap prices are up. It ain't gonna get you rich unless you have a lot of contracts with people, like auto body shops, stuff like that are pretty good for scrapping if you want to. I did it all through high school. The prices haven't been what they used to be, so I don't scrap that much anymore. But you know, free money, I'm gonna stop and go get it. You know, 30 minutes out of the way, but it's still sort of kind of on the way to the house. So I'm gonna swing back through there, get a little bit of footage of me loading that scrap up, talk to the customer, see if they need the dumpster rental again, because they still had quite a bit of stuff there. And if you do multiple loads with me, I drop the price. The price per load goes down. So you know, just to treat everybody as fair as possible. You know, try to compete with these bigger roll-off companies to hold the price down if there's multiple loads. So we'll get a little footage of that, loading up the scrap when we get there. But I'll check back in with y'all in about 30-45 minutes when we get back to the customer's site. All right, y'all, it's Mike back with you from Moody's Way. We just got to the customer's house and got this little pile of scrap loaded up. It's not a full load by any means, but it is free. Free is for me. Anytime you can take somebody else's junk and turn it into a paycheck, whether it's 20 or 50 bucks or anything, you got to be appreciative of it. That's as much fuel as we used this whole job. So this job was, we dropped it off on Friday, Friday evening, Friday afternoon, something like that. We dropped the dumpster off to the customer, and then we had to run it, pick it up, run it to the dump, and then go back to the customer's house and pick up a little bit of scrap metal that he had laying around that was part of the clean out that we agreed on. So basically, I dropped it off Friday. The truck had a full tank when I hooked to the trailer Friday. I dropped it off to the customer, drove straight back to the yard, and I parked the truck all weekend. Today's Monday. I picked the trailer back up this morning, went and dumped it, went back, picked up the scrap, and we used almost $45 in fuel, a little over 15 gallons. So I mean, round it up, 50 bucks. I mean, that's 50 bucks per trip I have to take to the dump just in fuel. So, you know, a lot of people question why I charge what I charge, and you know, Joe Blow's charging $100 less a load, but they're not even in my area. So keep in mind that the prices are different in every area for these dumpster rentals, and it has a lot to do with fuel and location. Honestly, that's your biggest overhead cost besides the trailer itself, is the fuel and the drive time it takes. So let's do some quick math. We'll park in a parking lot here. So we had, the dump receipt was a little bit over $50 for the dump. So we have $50 in fuel, $50 for dump, that's 100 bucks. It took me, oh, let's see, about an hour to drop it off. From the yard to the job was an hour on Friday. And then today, let's see what time it is. It's 11 o'clock right now, and I started about 8. So 8, 9, 10, 11. So you're talking 4 total hours invested in this job. 4 hours and $100 worth of fuel. On this job, I charged the customer $350, that includes the dump fee. So potentially, now I'm trying to drive again, guys, sorry. We basically had $100 in expenses. Luckily we didn't get a flat tire today. I mean, just to stop by the tire shop and get a plug in a tire if that happens, or not a plug, yeah, a plug, that's $10 right there. A tire, if you had to buy it, anywhere, I mean, $80 to $150 depending on what tire you're getting. So luckily we didn't have a tire issue that we know of yet. So basically we're looking at, we made $250 off of this load. It's give or take. Obviously we're doing rough numbers here, but that's about as good as it can be. The customer wasn't over on the weight. They were under the 2 tons that I estimated. So it all worked well. No big hiccups or anything like that, but you know, you got to justify your time somewhere. So at 4 hours and there's $200 left, I basically made $50 an hour. If I took it all and stuck it in my pocket. Now I don't do things like that. How I like to do it is I'll put 50 right off the top in like a trailer maintenance type pile. That'll be tires, bearings, grease, hydraulic fluid, whatever stuff we happen to run into along the way in the future. So I like to do that just to have a buffer. You can't ever be too cautious when it comes to business. You got to have money to keep you rolling. So if I get a flat tire, I'm just going to withdraw the money out of that account, go get me a new tire, and continue to make money. That's the name of the game. Because if you stop working, you ain't making no money. If you stop moving, you ain't making nothing. So stay moving, stay productive. And the dump trailer game's not a horrible gig to get into if you can afford to buy the trailer. If you have to finance the trailer, then I mean, you got to consider interest rates and everything else on top of that. That's a whole different game. Especially if you finance the trailer. I mean, obviously that's a bill, that's an expense. So you got to consider that too. But we're gonna get some lunch, and I'll see y'all when I get back to the yard and dump this scrap pile. All right, y'all, we're back at the yard. I call it the sand pit. But we're gonna pull up to this scrap pile, and unload this little bit of scrap we got. There's a lot of mixed stuff in it, aluminum and steel and stuff, so I don't want to take it straight to the scrap yard just because it needs to be separated. If we're gonna get the most bang for the buck out of this thing, we got to separate it and clean all the aluminum stuff up. And then we can cash it in. And that looks pretty good right there. All right. So let's get ready to dump this thing. Make sure your doors are latched. Good to go. Make sure everything came out the way it should have. While it's up in the air, I always like to look at everything and make sure there's grease on it. There ain't no squeaking, so we're doing good so far anyway. Oh, look at that. Something got hung up. A little thing got hung up on my rope for my wheel chucks. Looks pretty good. I'll lower it back down and close up the doors. Well guys, that pretty much concludes today's video. About to wrap it up and go start some other projects, but appreciate y'all hanging out with me, and if you like this kind of content and stuff like that, drop a comment, make sure to subscribe, leave a thumbs up, and I don't know, if we get a good response for it, y'all will be doing a bunch more dumpster videos. But I appreciate y'all watching. Thanks again.